Folks, I was at Lenten service this past day, and we read this portion of Mark 15. This is when right after Jesus was arrested and taken to be charged of his crime. They took Jesus to the high priest's home, where the leading priests, the elders, and the teachers of religious law had gathered. Meanwhile, Peter followed him at a distance and went right into the high priest's courtyard. There he sat with the guards, warming himself by the fire. Inside, the leading priests and the entire high council were trying to find evidence against Jesus so they could put him to death. But they couldn't find any. Many false witnesses spoke against him, and they contradicted each other. Finally, some men stood up and gave this false testimony. We heard him say, "I will destroy this temple made with human hands, and in 3 days I will build another made without human hands." But even then, they didn't get their story straight. Then the high priest stood up before the others and asked Jesus, "Well, aren't you going to answer these charges? What do you have to say for yourself?" But Jesus was silent and made no reply. Then the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" And Jesus said, "I am. And you will see the Son of Man seated at the place of power at God's right hand and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes to show his horror and said, "Why do we need other witnesses? You have heard his blasphemy. What is your verdict?" "Guilty," they all cried. "He deserves to die." Then some of them began to spit at him. They blindfolded him and beat him with their fists. "Prophesy to us," they jeered, and the guards slapped him and took him away. Folks, that's a very, very sad reading, because they can't convict him of a crime. Jesus has never sinned in his life, and they know that because none of their false stories stand to test. And he never lies, Jesus. When they ask him if he's the Messiah, he doesn't lie. He says, "I am." And they still beat him, and they tear his clothes and beat him. They mock him. They say, "Prophesy to us. Tell us who's beating you." It's very sad, very horrific stuff in this chapter. So it's the season of Lent, so we always have to show our gratitude to God in every way we can, in this time especially. So, Jesus, we offer up our bodies and our minds and our souls to you, because you are more willing than anyone else. Amen.